Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the test run of the kOLM Inline 230cc engine. This is going to be awesome. Have you ever wanted one of these things? Well, me too, and this is going to be my first experience seeing one of these things run in person. It's going to be absolutely awesome. So let's get to getting this thing ready and building the stand and everything, getting it set up, getting the prop installed, and we will run this engine. All right, so one of the reasons to build a test stand like this is not something I would normally do, but because I've never used one of these engines before, I thought it would be a great idea to familiarize myself with the kOLM engine, be able to see it running, get all the equipment installed, and play with it outside of the aircraft. Then what that's going to equate to is a better overall build when we build the Strega from KARF, which is right behind the red and yellow Ranger up there. So it's just going to be a better overall final product. And I'll tell you a little bit of the confusion and stuff that I had with this project so far. Okay, so the kOLM engine comes with a pretty decent manual that explains a lot of the stuff, so that part is good. The KARF portion, the manual, really they don't have a great Strega P51 type manual with this engine layout on it. But overall, not too bad. It was fairly straightforward once we got the hang of things. Getting some of these things off to install the adapter plate here was a real challenge. I'll show you a special tool that we made. And fortunately, the kit came with 2 of these carbon plates. So this one here is basically, we'll call it our spare. We've got another brand new one, which is good because we can put that one in the plane. The only thing that we really did to this one that's not reusable is we put 2 blind nuts through there. So worst case scenario, we could use these. We would just fill those in with epoxy. So that is kind of the layout. Now, one of the mandatory tools that you'll need to make if you ever get one of these engines is you'll need a 5mm Allen key that is short and stubby. So I had a 5mm Allen key, we cut it off, Reason for that is you need to get into areas where you don't have a lot of depth. So this starter motor needs to come off to get that adapter plate on. So this is definitely a mandatory tool. All right, so we've got the prop installed here, and all of our blades have been pitched. They've all been weight checked and all that type of stuff. So prop bolts installed. We're not going to do the nose cone for the test runs. That's going to be a later thing when we build the aircraft. And we'll be just using my spare 100 amp. So this is, normally I would run a 6S battery on this, but that's what we're gonna power the starter motor with. Probably not gonna use this guy in the actual plane build. We'll use a smaller ESC just because we don't need something that big. So one of the other interesting things was the pressure tank setup. So it was a little bit confusing at first, but I found a diagram on, I think, kOLM, the Facebook page, and this is kind of a squished down version of it. We may redo it for the plane build, but this is how we're doing it for the test run. So if you're not familiar with this, basically you've got a tank here. The right-hand line runs to the engine. This is the vent line, so that pulls from the top of the tank, or that's where the vent is coming out. This is our fill line over here. And what happens is you fill fuel in the tank through the fill line. When you're filling the fuel system, you open up the Festo valve. So this will be in a convenient location in the aircraft. This is a check valve, so if you do get fuel coming to this point and coming out of the aircraft, none is going to flow into the pressure setup. And then once your fuel system is full, you can close the Festo valve, and now your fuel system is sealed. And then what you do is you put about 4 psi into the pressure system, and you're just using like a blood pressure pump is what it is. I don't know what this is called, mmHg, but that converts, so 4 psi is about 200 on this scale. So we basically put 4 psi in this tank, and what that does is it pressurizes the fuel system, and this is a much simpler option than having a fuel pump. All right, so we're basically ready to go. We need to strap this down to somewhere very, very strong and stable. So the way we built the stand was to strap it down on the back of a tailgate of a vehicle. I need to get some fuel, mix some oil in the fuel, and we will be ready to test run this engine. All right, so one of the things I needed to figure out was the remote start and how it all works, and I've got it set up. So let's take a look at this thing. All I'm doing when I blip the remote start here is I'm just giving it a little bit of throttle. If I go to full throttle with the 6S battery, it's crazy powerful. So here we go. It's so cool. All right, guys, a few videos ago, we did a solder stick giveaway in that video, and that was the torture test for solder stick. So we're going to draw 2 winners of the 50-piece giveaways, and the keyword was solder. You have to make a comment in this video using the word solder. Now this is a bit of a hidden gem. It was near the very end of the video, so you got to watch all the video to get to find these little snippets. So let's pull our names and see who has won the 50-piece solder stick kits. All right, so here we go. We're picking a winner from our 2 buddy things, so it has to contain the word solder. And the first winner is Anthony Graham. Very cool. So Anthony, reach out to me and shoot me an email, and I will mail these to you. And we will pick another winner. And the second winner is Jeffrey Rogers. So Jeffrey, make sure you reach out to me by email, thelightersideofrc@gmail.com, and we will get these sent off to you. Thanks, Solder Stick. All right, guys, we've got everything set up here. So we've got the test stand strapped down. We've got straps going into the bed of the truck. We've got our fuel with oil mixed. We've got pressure in our pressure tank, 4 psi. We've got battery power to the system. We've got battery power going to the remote starter and the receiver. Throttle servo's working. It's time to get this going. Let's see what happens. So we've got it choked first, like the instructions say. Fuel's going into the carburetors. All right, hold that thought. All right, so I think the ignition battery was dead. I didn't check it beforehand, so I put a new battery on there. Let's see if this helps. Choke open. Well, I gotta tell you, that is nuts. Okay, so obviously first run, The tuning works, but it's obviously, it needs to be broken in and tuned and all that stuff. But that is mental. The sound is like, it's like being right beside a Harley or a crazy motorbike. Like, that's what it sounds like. That is really cool. All right, guys, so first run is done. As you saw, if you watched the whole thing, what we're going to do now is we're going to check the prop bolts, the center bolt, just make sure those are all tight. And that was, so what we set this up with is a 32-ounce tank. So that is 1 liter. And we used, I don't know, a quarter of a tank-ish kind of thing, just during that, that test run. Obviously, we kept the throttle pretty low the whole time. The highest I went on the throttle stick was about 3/4. Yeah, overall definitely kept the throttle pretty low and just being cautious with it. I mean, that thing is scary, honestly. That's a lot of engine and a lot of prop and a lot of power. It's pretty nuts. I know I've said it already, but it's pretty nuts. So we're gonna get those things tightened. We're gonna let the engine cool off. And then the next run, we'll run it a little bit longer, probably drain all that fuel out of there. So we'll run it for a good, probably maybe another 7 minutes. I don't think I'm gonna record the whole thing. I'll just record the startup for you. And well, we'll see what happens. Okay, start number 2. I just choked it, so hopefully it starts. All right, guys, and that is the test run of the kOLM 230cc inline engine. Dang, this thing is cool. Very excited to be putting together the Strega and putting this engine inside that aircraft, and even Nez approves as well too. So obviously we've got a lot of tuning to do, a lot of breaking in to do and everything, but it's nice to see this thing run. And having never been around one before, it is definitely a bit of a mind-blowing experience. So that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you found it exciting or useful, hit that subscribe button down below. Also give the video a thumbs up while you're down there hitting that subscribe button. Apparently the YouTube algorithm likes those thumbs up. So thanks, guys, for watching, and we will see ya in the next video.